I'm here in the chapel, the Swensson Chapel, in the Burnett Center for the Religion and the Performing Arts. This building was built in 1974 in response to a number of problems here on the college campus. Old Main Chapel was, frankly, out of date, out of use, and about to be torn down. The Center for Art over in Presser Hall was beneath the stage in Presser Hall. That was where theater was done up until 1974. And the theater program was growing enough and theater was becoming important enough that it was pushing for its own space. The college needed to find space for both these activities, but they needed to find a space that could be flexible and used for both. The result was the Burnett Center. On one side it's a chapel, on the other side it's a theater. The seating area revolves to allow for a 284-seat house, or revolves back and is an 80-seat chapel. But even while it solved a number of problems, it created some problems. Problems that are now pressing upon the college as ministry changes, as the college's emphasis changes, as the college grows and matures, and the 21st century makes new demands upon the college. Let me show you some of those problems, and let's hear from the people who have to work in this space about what the limits are to the Swensson Chapel.
In this space that we have currently, we share this space with the theater, and it is primarily a theatrical space. So there isn't a dedication to what I would consider the idea of the sacred. In this particular space, this idea of music as an enhancement for the Word of God is very difficult to bring about, because the space is limited. The seats are cantilevered. So it produces this idea of a performance. All of our groups, the choirs, the handbell ensembles, brass groups that regularly are in chapel and are a part of the chapel experience, in order for them to find a space, they have to be in front. They have to be in front of the altar. They have to be behind the altar, which I believe takes away from their role in the worship experience.
And for the choir to be singing in there, they have to be up behind the altar, which makes it kind of a mishmash of a bunch of people and things going on at all times during the service. The sound in Burnett just kind of goes all over the place. It's hard for the students to hear themselves when they're singing. It's hard even just a few feet away from each other for some of the students to hear another student singing, to see if they're in tune with one another, if they're on the beat together, all the things that go into choral singing. So.
It's very important too in space that it be flexible. Our current space is rather inflexible and pretty inaccessible for those with any kind of disabilities. So we look forward to a space that is welcome by its ease of entry, and also by the ways that we can set up the liturgical space to reflect the different kinds of worship that we use on campus.
Our admissions department is badly in need of new space. They're crowded and in Presser Hall, not always the best place to welcome new families. We need a more welcoming space.
Presser is a very impressive building. The lobby is absolutely beautiful. The admissions office is not a first impression type of environment. We literally have a family that will come into the admissions area and have to sit 360 degrees around a pole. Therefore, 3 members of the family aren't even part of the visit. So while we love to show off Presser Hall, the current space that we have really is not, we're not able to have families feel welcome.
Now we've taken a look at some of the problems of our current chapel. We want to share with you now the vision of what a new chapel would mean for the campus. We want you to hear the stories of those who will benefit from the new chapel and see the pictures of what that new chapel will be like and where it will stand in the middle of our campus.
Worship and space are very linked. And in our new chapel, we will be able to do the kind of worship that we feel that we're called to do as a community of faith. Accessibility, lighting, flexibility, all of these things will speak to our core values of hospitality and building community.
We have worked with the architect to make sure that the new facility has a sense of openness and warmth. He has designed the facility to where there is a lot of light that will be coming through. Visitors will really have a sense of ease. It's the people that create the beauty of Bethany, but the space will allow us to be more hospitable.
In the new chapel space, from the drawings that I've seen and from having conversations with the architect and other musicians here at Bethany, I'm very excited about the possibilities, especially for the chapel choir. There's an area specifically made for the choirs to be singing it. It's not really a choir loft, it's more of a choir area that would have good acoustics behind it.
I hope that this chapel will also do the same thing for the handbell choirs that we have now, growing bigger and bigger each year, that they have a place where they can perform and play without a lot of hassle of moving stuff around.
One of the ideas and one of the dreams that we have and goals that we have on the Bethany College campus is to provide an instrument for students that they can then get more of an authentic experience of Baroque music. In this, you have to have a tracker instrument, and that's our goal for the chapel, the new chapel organ, would be that it would be a tracker instrument that would allow for the student to experience the different touch that it takes to play Baroque music.
I think with the new chapel, we will see a different side of Bethany. With the chapel being more centered, we kind of get the mindset that we focus around God, that we're centered in God's mind.
Finally, we want Noni Strand to tell you a little bit about Bud Pearson and his relationship to Bethany College and why he's given us this generous gift and challenges you to join in the building of the new chapel.
Bud Pearson has done more for Bethany than almost any other single individual. While he was not an alum of Bethany and hadn't even attended college, he was extremely dedicated to liberal arts higher education and our Swedish heritage. He said when he came and visited us the first time that he fell in love with Bethany and Lindsborg, and we in turn fell in love with him. Bud has done so much for Bethany. He endowed the Pearson Professor for Swedish Studies, which is a program that brings Swedish scholars to our campus and has opened the world to us. He has been very generous in the art department, and now with this $1 Million Challenge grant, he has helped us to make our identity as a college of the church a place of welcome and hospitality and a community of faith, learning, and service to be very visible and open to everyone who comes to our campus.